Hello and welcome to On the Couch with Steve. This is a podcast where we help you navigate the often tricky world of buying and selling real estate. I'm Steve Athanates. I'm the owner of NG Real Estate here in Ipswich. Today we're talking about the recent legislation changes with rentals in Queensland, specifically what happens around the rules regarding putting up and down rental prices and how often we can do that. So for all the tenants out there, this one's probably really aimed at you, but also extremely valuable to landlords out there wanting to know what their rights are as well. So today we're talking with Cassandra Jeffs. Cassandra Jeffs is our Business Development Manager here at NG Real Estate Ipswich. Cassandra's been working with us for about the last 6.5 years. Obviously her role within our business is specifically to obviously target new managements, find new rental properties that we can offer for rent. Cassandra goes right through the process of organising photos, putting listing descriptions on the internet and running the first lot of open homes. So consequently, you're talking to all the investment owners and you're talking to tenants basically on a daily basis. So welcome, Cassandra. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Lovely, lovely. So what we're going to do is we'll jump straight into it. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there who are really interested in what has happened with the rental laws, specifically around raising rents. I'm going to pass over to you. Tell us what's happening.
So basically, as of the 1st of July 2023, there'll be basically changes where the owners are unable to increase the rents unless it's every 12 months. So it used to be every 6 months that we were able to increase without increasing the bond, but now it's every 12 months.
And do you have to increase the bond at the same time?
Yeah, so the bond will increase where previously we weren't able to increase the bonds as well as the same time as the rental increase because it legally wasn't able to be done for 12 months.
Okay, so now instead of being able to increase the rent twice a year, it's only once?
That's right.
Is there any limit on how much they can increase?
Not yet. So there isn't any changes to that. So basically we work off a comparative market analysis and that's how we come up with obviously the rents and what the property is worth.
Okay, so for the people at home who potentially don't know what a comparative market analysis is, that's where you obviously look at a series of similar properties in similar areas, same amount of bedrooms and bathrooms and car accommodation, those sorts of things, and you're looking for, I guess, an estimate of what they're worth relative to everything else that's in the market.
Correct.
So you're setting a lot of those prices yourself.
Yeah, so basically we are, 100%. Yeah, so obviously we do need to recommend rents to our owners, but we don't obviously just recommend any type of rent. We have to statistically show why we're asking for that type of rent.
Okay, so good to know. So for the I guess even the tenants at home, when you're wondering who sets the rental price, obviously real estate agents obviously play a huge part in that. Sometimes owners will have an expectation of what they think the property is worth, and even sometimes we have to educate them that maybe the property's not worth as much as they thought it was worth.
Yeah, 100%.
So obviously real estate agents are setting the price, and obviously we're then saying, okay, we're going to advertise at that price and look for a suitable tenant. Correct?
Correct, yes.
And you said not yet, you can't, there's no limit on how much you can put up, because I guess people have heard horror stories where people have had rents put up $100, $200 per week. At the moment, it's not legislated?
It's not legislated, no.
But you're thinking it potentially will be?
I feel maybe in the future it definitely will change.
Mm-hmm. When you say the future, is that 6 months, 12 months, or you think it's longer than that?
I feel if it keeps increasing the way it has been increasing, probably 6 to 12 months.
Because obviously, I guess for everyone at home, you know, all the talk has been about cost of living, the pressures associated with inflation, and obviously people's rent, you know, that's the number one thing. We need shelter. So you got to have a roof over your head for your family, for yourself. And obviously, as those rents have increased, we've obviously seen pressure where lots of people are competing for the same properties.
They are competing, but it's also like understanding that tenants have an affordability as well. So we work on basically a 35% basis of their total income. So that's how we need to make sure that we're putting the correct tenant into these properties as well. So there's not that hardship.
Okay, so you're making sure they can afford it. Now, the 35% of their total income, if there's one person, it's just 35% of that one income.
Correct.
If there's two people, so husband, wife, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, that sort of thing, you take both their wages and they can't spend more than 35% of their combined income.
Exactly right.
Okay, so again, something that people will want to know, obviously there is a limit, and no one, including us as real estate agents, wants to see people not being able to afford to pay their rent. So I think that's really important. Now, one of the other things I wanted to talk to you while we've got the opportunity to have a chat is you are showing properties basically on a daily basis. You're looking for new tenants to go into our properties. Now, as you've been doing this for a long time, you've been in the industry for close to 20 years now?
Close to 20 years.
Close to 20 years. So obviously you've seen a lot in today's market, which is relevant. Okay, what can tenants do to effectively increase their chance of being selected for a property?
So firstly, one of the things, obviously, make sure you confirm your appointment, make sure you turn up to the appointment, and also obviously turn up on time. So it's a big factor when we're showing properties, because property managers obviously have time schedules. So make sure you're there for the viewing on time. So secondly would be your application process. Make sure you obviously put in all the information. Don't withhold anything. So make sure, like, anything to do with your previous rental history, your employment, like pay slips. We need as much information as possible because we cannot process an application without all the information.
Yep. Now, the basis of this application is so that the owner can determine who they want to put in their property, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Now, it would be fair to say that sometimes I think people think it's the real estate agent who chooses the tenant.
They do think that. It's definitely not.
Yeah, so again, something really specific that you should know is, don't get me wrong, real estate agents, we will make recommendations as to people's suitability,
yes,
their level of affordability for the property. So we'll give the owner some base information. But in our business, and obviously you're a big part of our business, it's the owner who determines who goes into their property.
Correct. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I think people really need to know that. It's not real estate agents playing favourites. It's really the owner's decision. It's their asset, and they want to make sure that they're comfortable with the person, the couple, the family they're putting in to the property.
That's right.
Beautiful. All right, so anything else, any other tips for the tenants? We've talked about getting there on time, being punctual, filling out the application to the best of their ability. What if someone, let's say someone had an indiscretion in the past, whether it was them or someone they were involved in a lease with, whether they'd had an issue with non-payment of rent, or there was some damages or something when they left the end of the tenancy. What can those people do? Because I think sometimes they just think that if they've had a problem, they'll never get another rental.
I think being honest, firstly. So as long as you're honest with us, and people's circumstances change all the time, so we understand that there's sometimes hardship, there's sometimes, things like that. People lose their jobs. It happens. So being upfront, honest, tell us first, and then obviously we can have a look at it from there. Beautiful.
So again, as always, the truth will set you free. So if you're honest about it, there's still a chance that we can overcome it.
Of course.
We will always disclose it to the owner. Mm-hmm. And let's say, for example, it was a bunch of, say, 3 blokes straight out of school, got into a house together. 2 of them might have done the right thing. One of them was a knucklehead and did something wrong. Okay. The other 2 aren't forever scarred just because of their association with one. And I guess too, if people, if they've done something wrong and they've paid off any debts, that goes a long way to say that, hey, I'm a decent person.
For sure.
Something wrong was done. I paid for it.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. All right, now, I guess just to move towards the end of our little chat here, with the overall market, and we've talked about this in the past, there has been some severe shortages. What are we seeing today? Is there more properties available for today's tenant?
There's a lot more properties available. So what we're finding is all the new homes that were obviously restricted from being built through COVID are finally getting completed. So we're finding areas like Ripley and South Ripley and through that corridor there's a lot more property becoming available.
So a lot more choice?
A lot more choice.
And what's happened with the prices?
Prices are still steady at the moment. So they're not increasing, they're just staying steady.
All right, so we haven't seen a fall at this stage?
Haven't seen a fall, no.
So there's not a massive oversupply?
No.
There's just a good supply?
That's right.
All right, beautiful. All right, well, for everyone at home, thanks for tuning in to hear and see what we're talking about on The Couch with Steve. Make sure you subscribe to the section here below. We'd obviously love to get your feedback on what we've discussed here today. To our special guest, Cassandra Jeffs, thank you so much for popping in. It's always a pleasure. If you have any opinions about what we've talked about, please don't be shy. Jump on social media and let us know what you think. And please stay tuned for more on The Couch with Steve.